Okay? And adapt rubrics based on criteria addressed in each course. So, for example, this is something very similar to what you will receive. Here are the institutional learning outcomes. Here are the program learning outcomes for your department. And then here is your CLOs. This is your responsibility here. Okay? The CLOs, and then, of course, creating the rubrics. Now, if you see the literature here for knowledge and then the PLO's understanding of this institutional learning outcome, you can see that they are fairly consistent with how they are arranged. Okay? So when you're creating a course learning outcome, don't be afraid to look back at the program learning outcome and its attachment to the institutional learning outcome when writing your rubrics. Okay? Now, over here will be your assessment artifact. This is your assignments. Now, we're only asking for 2 assignments, correct? Are we still on 2 artifacts? Okay, so presentations, papers, tests, okay? And a student observation, which is an overall observation of the student's behavior, can be your 3rd artifact. So your artifacts will go right here. Now, you have to decide, based on your course learning outcomes, which artifact will address this specific criteria. Is that clear? Am I jumping around too much on this? Okay, so if you change assignments, okay, say this semester you did a 2,500 word paper, next semester you want to do a presentation, you do not necessarily have to change your course learning outcomes. All you have to do is change your alignment. Okay? Clear so far? So here's an example of actually how the PLO was written. So here is our ILO. This is for MA Religious Studies, okay, and this is the PLO rubric. So here, taking the ILO, our department head took certain program learning outcomes. Again, this is created by the department heads. And as you can see, the literature used in the rubric is very consistent. Okay, little to no knowledge, okay, basic and simplistic knowledge, general understanding, firm grasp, and excellent. Okay, so when you're creating your rubrics, okay, you can look at these to align your actual rubric outcomes. Okay, any questions so far? Is this clear? Okay, let me go through this. So, characteristics of a well-written learning outcome. Student actions should be, I should change that to the passive, observable, measurable, again, measurable, consistent by different observers, and demonstrated. So, observable. For example, a 10-slide PowerPoint. Measurable. For example, you're observing the student's ability to speak clearly, speaks with enthusiasm, and speaks in a confident manner. And demonstrated. Can I prove that this person was able to meet certain criteria? Okay. Now, again, your engagement with this system is you are responsible, 1, for creating the course learning outcomes, 2, assessment, okay, and report student performance based on agreed upon rubric metrics. Input student outcomes into software, which actually isn't very true because the students are responsible for inputting their information, their artifacts into the software. You just have to access that artifact and evaluate. Okay. Now here's some suggestions from the IR department, faculty engagement-wise. Each department can form a committee to assess and evaluate student outcomes and performance. Each department committee could use relevant data to analyze program effectiveness and ineffectiveness, okay, or help pinpoint causation factors. So there has been a lot of debate within the faculty, is our program helping our students develop? Okay, now this assessment system will actually help you pinpoint that causation factor and what is preventing our students from developing and what is actually helping our students develop. Now, department heads, what they are responsible for are completing the PLOs. I believe every department head,
There's a couple of departments.
there's still a few,
We're
but
working on it.
okay. So,
Takes time.
faculty, get your department heads going here. They are responsible for the PLOs before you can do your CLOs. Now, department heads, it is imperative that you make sure all faculty members within your department have a clear understanding of the institution and program goals. Okay? Understand that? I think we have a few department heads in here. I think the department heads that are here are very good with this. Okay? Also, essential to know what information should be extracted from student assessment database. This is for department heads and the administration, this idea that you need to have an understanding what kind of information do you actually want to get from this database. Okay? Now from a student's perspective, students must upload all coursework to software system in order for assessment effectiveness. Now, the IR department, we actually created a step-by-step pamphlet. Where is that? Oh, right here. I think this is it. So, we have your tutorial right here. We have one for the faculty and one for the students. And it's very simple. It's going to be step-by-step approach to accessing your TaskStream accounts. Okay? All the way to evaluating student learning outcomes. Okay? Again, let me be explicit about this. The 2 artifacts selected for assessment must be uploaded and stored in student portfolios. And the good thing about TaskStream is after a student has graduated from the university, they can extract their portfolios from the TaskStream system as a zip drive, and they can store it on their own computer. So they can take all of their artifacts, all of their assessment data, okay, they can upload their resumes, okay, they can make portfolios. They can extract all that information from TaskStream after they finish their courses here at University of the West, and they can take that with them. And of course, students are only allowed 2 gigabytes of space, which is plenty of space for their tenure here.